Next race on the track with the boys, 800 run.
All right, Seneca7 community. Hopefully you're all having nice evenings. I am coming to you live here from a high school track meet at Shenango Forks. So my apologies if there are either a shaky internet connection or you get some announcers in the background. But for all of the time spent trying to work on this for you with Jackie, I'm also trying to be a dad here and watch some track as well. So hopefully it goes okay. So Jackie is on with us tonight as well. This will be the question and answer format to follow up the briefing that we did and posted from last week. Hopefully anybody who's on with us will have already watched the briefing, scoped out the website. I did redo the website to try to make it a little bit more straightforward, easy to find things, cut out some of the clutter, and hopefully have a lot of the content on there. But we are here to answer any questions, whether it be what Jackie had for dinner or whether it be where there won't be Porta Johns on the course. So feel free to chime in. Hopefully comments that you make or questions will come through either from the Facebook stream or the YouTube stream. Sometimes one of them doesn't come through, and my apologies. Chris might be able to monitor it on the PR side and give us a heads up too. But if you have a question, feel free to answer it. And again, my apologies for any background noise that is happening at the moment. All right, so to kick things off, we are going to I'm going to ask Jackie 3 of the larger questions in the universe, and as maybe they pertain to the Seneca7. And we'll just see what comes up with for answers here. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. Can I go to the bathroom anywhere and everywhere on this course?
Okay, so the short answer is no. We want to really emphasize that we will have porta potties on the course, and it's also, you've got over 77 miles to find places that have public restrooms available. Please do not go to the bathroom in any unauthorized zones, which includes the yards of people, or also businesses that have not invited you in, or that you're not intending to make a purchase, unless it's a place like in Watkins Glen, you're going to a fast food place, Dunkin' Donuts, Walmart, something like that. Those bathrooms are open, but please be aware there is no general team porta potty at Kashong. That exchange, you're going to be just dropping your runner off and heading beyond there to Anthony Road to reunite with them. So the next runner, we will have a couple of porta potties only to accommodate the people who are waiting, who have just finished their leg and are waiting for the shuttle or are waiting to make the exchange. It's not for everybody in the van to jump out and try to use those bathrooms. There will be limited porta potty access at Kloop Park, but that's because the visitor center is open. They have a couple of bathrooms. They have Lafayette Park bathrooms are open. They also have some porta potties down at the kayak area. So there should be plenty of regular bathrooms in addition to all those businesses around in the Watkins Glen area. And then there are no porta potty units whatsoever at Covert Road, which is all the more reason to limit the number of vehicles and team members going up there and trying to carpool.
All right. Question number 2. And so again, those tuning in, feel free to drop something in the comments feed, and hopefully it will get through to us here. If not, we can try to watch it later and post things up. But all right, question number 2. Does everyone get on a shuttle bus at the start or at, let's say, Exchange 2?
So no, unlike years past where we've had shuttle buses, this is not something you need to worry about at the start of the race. The only place we're utilizing a shuttle is at exchange point number 2, and only for the teams that are in start waves prior to 9 a.m. So if you have a car flag, if you're given a car flag at packet pickup, you will not use a shuttle bus at all, none of your runners. What you'll be doing instead is you will bring your runner to the first exchange, make the exchange, wait for your runner, continue down to the second exchange, drop your runner off and continue down to Anthony Road. That runner number 2, who's finishing up at the Kashong exchange number 2, will take a shuttle bus. They will be running continuously from about 6:15 to 9:30 in the morning. So if there's not a bus, there's a couple of them, but if they are in transit to the next exchange, don't panic. They're coming back. Now, if you're there way past 9:30 and the buses appear to be gone, don't worry. There'll be a bunch of other team vehicles. You will get a ride. You'll find a way to Anthony Road. But we've really timed it out that the shuttle bus system will work from Kashong to Anthony Road only for runner number 2.
And if for some reason that just doesn't work out, I mean, there's been, the very much bike loyalists who here and there will pester and comment about bringing the bikes back. So if we can't do that, maybe after the experience is here, we will insert a hitchhiking rather angle to the event. So it'll be that leg gets to hitchhike in some form, and we'll be creative with that. All right. So Jamie has a question. Will there be volunteers manning the parking lot at Bona Vista? And I had to get out of our team vehicle way before the entrance and running with my runner to the exchange point.
So Bona Vista, I have to say, is never going to be able to accommodate the number of vehicles that are arriving all at the same time, all equally frantic, all anticipating that they need to be the closest vehicle to the exchange point, no matter what. We are going to do our best. We have a whole new crew of past participants who will be managing the parking at that exchange point. So they feel your pain. They understand the situation. They are there to help. Please be kind to them. But we are encouraging teams, if possible, to carpool through from Billy's Burgundy Barn to Bona Vista, drop off a group of next runners, save the other people from having to drive there, and everybody meet up at Sampson, where there are roads galore that people can park along to reunite with their teams.
All right. And then a question from Emily. So do team vehicles pick up runner 1 at the first exchange?
Yes. So the first exchange will run just as normal. You bring your runner there, you pick up the runner after they finish. It's only exchange number 2 that is using a shuttle bus, and it's only for teams that are in the start waves prior to 9 a.m. You will approach the exchange point, you will drop off your next runner number 3, and you will continue to Anthony Road. The runner who's finishing at exchange 2, Kashong, runner number 2, will board a shuttle bus, be shuttled down to Anthony Road, and you'll all reunite down there.
All right. So another one that Jackie had mentioned earlier, maybe the third question that we could ask is define carpooling. So in a couple of these, we're really trying to emphasize carpooling again this year, whether it be coming out of Clute and the one for Bona Vista. So Jackie, you just referenced it a couple times there, but I guess define carpooling just one more time, how that might go.
Well, I mean, this is a fun time, right? This event is a great way to meet new people. Everybody's having a great time out there. By the time you get halfway around the course down to Watkins Glen, you kind of know the crew that you've been leapfrogging with, along for the ride with. You're seeing the same teams at each exchange point. You're going the same pace. It would be really helpful if the next runners for a couple of teams choose one team vehicle. That driver takes them up to the Covert Road Exchange. All the other team members file into the other team vehicles and just keep on going to Scale House. There'll be extra porta potties there. You can order pizza, you can hang out, and then only that one vehicle needs to drop off the next runners at Covert, wait for the people to finish up, and then they can reunite with you at Scale House. Likewise, for Bona Vista, if you're at Billy's Burgundy Barn, maybe try to coordinate with a couple other teams and only send one of your vehicles into that Bona Vista lot. we know again, and if depending on the weather, there could be a lot of golfers there. That's always a variable. You might think it looks like it's going to be cold, no one will be golfing. You'd be surprised. I don't golf. Maybe other people do. It seems like anytime it's dry, there's going to be golfers out there. So we don't really know what the parking situation is until it's like a game day decision. So we really want to encourage you to try to take the pressure off yourself by meeting some new people, kind of grouping up and using that carpool option to get you all through there faster and with less stress.
And how about the tie into the award? Kind of rehashing that may go with the card pooling or the incentive there.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we would never ask you to do something that we wouldn't incentivize, celebrate, or otherwise reward. So if you do carpool, we encourage you to take a picture in your van. We already have the like selfies from a van hashtag that Chris monitors and does such a great job with social media. He's got another job to do this year. He's going to be looking out for people sending in pictures, evidence, visual evidence of carpooling, and we're going to run a raffle for teams that do show evidence that they have carpooled. So the person who sends in that picture will be eligible to win, I think, a pretty good prize. But we're going to see if we can offer that both for the Covert Road Exchange and then also for the Bonavista Exchange. So there's 2 chances to win for your carpooling adventures.
One question that I got a couple emails for today from a couple teams was regarding where you plug your team vehicle information into. And I had to check in with Jackie and Chris about this because I figured it was something carryover that I just wasn't aware of the past couple of years. And indeed, historically, the event would ask for your vehicle kind of identification information. And I forgot that was a part, but they would weave that into registration. But it wasn't something that they necessarily had the bandwidth to actively use the list. We will have eyes out there looking for people as best as we can to be minding the rules of the road. So vehicles that aren't, can't fit within a standard parking space, or each year we'll get comments from people that maybe teams have 2 vehicles going out there. And so we'll try to have eyes on that and let us know if you do see something as well, just because those really do create safety issues for all of us and the event as a whole. But one of the things we won't do is this round be asking you for that specific team vehicle information. So again, that was something that I had been asked, and there's an answer to that.
And Ian, I think we've been getting a lot of questions about the shirts. So if I'm understanding correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, you received the shipment of shirts that were expressly ordered with the purpose of fitting the way people have requested in years past, and seeing that there might have been a bit of a disconnect with the cut this year, you ordered more shirts, which is incredible. So what we're going to do at Packet Pickup is we have adjusted your requests to match up with the sizing of the shirts that we know now are cut correctly. So we will give you the shirts that should be fitting what you intended to request, and we will have an exchange table there. If what we give you ends up being larger than you would like, you can always exchange down, and you'll be able to exchange shirts both at Packet Pickup and also after the race. So I don't want you to feel stressed out. We will have another opportunity at the end of the race for that.
Yeah, and it's really just seems like this should be such a straightforward thing, just ordering shirts or swag, and like, I don't know, it should just work on size. Like when we got the shirts last year from a different entity, and we try to be mindful on the sourcing of the shirts, where they're coming from, having some sort of eco angle, something to just be mindful of that impact. But they arrived last year, and I had my daughter fresh out of the box try one on. I thought they looked good, but my immediate reaction was like, "Oh no, they run small," and they was just like too tight. And I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be a headache." And It worked last year. I think everybody, for the most part, ended up getting the shirts that I think that they wanted in terms of sizing. This year, I used a friend's company in Syracuse, USA Racing, which some of you probably already have their shirts from other events. Really nice fabric, tech fabric. There was a request this year to go tech. I think that a lot of you have lifestyle kind of cotton shirts, and there was some requests to go back to a tech shirt, which I hear you on, or did hear you on. So source a tech shirt through USA Racing, but where I've used them in the past, they just ran like 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches long in length versus other more mainstream brands. And while I wanted to like the shirts, it always just like weird because they just ran long. And so this year, as part of this order, I was having them all cut to a spec that was supposed to match Patagonia's, which I feel like is a pretty consistent kind of accepted cut. So ordered them all in. They arrived. Like 2,500 shirts or whatever it was, but they all measure and were labeled a full size basically off. So a women's medium, as it was marked, actually was fitting like a small, and like vice versa. So yeah, what I did was ordered basically an additional 1,000 shirts, which just arrived 2 weeks ago, and we had those printed. And so it was a headache and it was an additional expense, but I really wanted to try to not give you all, it was just going to create chaos. So yeah, to Jackie's point, when you arrive and you pick up your shirts, if you ordered a medium, you're going to be given a large as an example and all the way through. And hopefully that's going to work. And hopefully you like the shirts. All right. Emily has a question. So to Team V, oh, sorry, Emily, sorry, we already answered that. Tommy just put in one. Tommy said teams should be penalized for more than one vehicle.
I wish that we, well, I don't wish, because I'm a pushover and that's there, I've said it. You know, but if we had the capacity to have a dedicated volunteer at every exchange point checking for that team vehicle sign, we absolutely would. But we are this year reinstituting the team vehicle sign that we expect for you to have on the dashboard, and volunteers will be asked to, as things are getting a little chaotic, if that team vehicle sign is not displayed, they reserve the right to tell you that they can't let you in the parking lot if we're at capacity. So the effort there is to try to keep spectators from following their teams into the parking lots. We really can't. Parking is at a premium. That is one of the things that restricts the size of this event. We are always scaling back the field to try to accommodate changes in the parking dynamics around the lake. So it's really important that you use one team vehicle that is standard size, fits in a regular parking space, and is able to be nimbly maneuvered in some of the tighter turnarounds that we have at these exchange points. But we understand, and we do reserve the right, obviously, for egregious violations to issue penalties. We went over this in the pre-race briefing. This year, we want to be really clear that safety violations result in penalties, potentially disqualification, and potentially being asked or prevented from asked not to return, or being prevented from returning next year. We need to keep the race safe, and we need to follow the rules that allow everybody to be able to participate.
And just with a big please, you know, the rules for everybody to participate, to keep you all safe and to allow the event to continue as it is. So please follow the rules. It seems like there's always somebody's out there trying to game the system or cheat in some way or whatever. Just, I don't know, please don't do that. And then just please try to not do stupid things. It seems like each year there'll be somebody or somebody's or some team that's just like, come on, like, don't do that. Last year it was one team writing on vehicles with something or whatever that ended up writing on vehicles that were not associated with the race. They were just two community members, which obviously didn't go so well and creates a very tenuous situation on whether the race continues at all, if that's how we're received by the community. So please, we want you to have a lot of fun out there, and it should just be a fun day and a chill day with friends or whatever. But I don't know, just try to think and just not do stupid stuff. That would be appreciated.
And I mean, to be clear, we do understand it's a fun event. We know people bring friends and family. We encourage that, but there are lots of places where spectators can be on the course watching what's happening that are not exchange points. There are a ton of side roads. There are other parking areas. So we would just encourage you, if you know you have family and friends coming, we're not saying tell them to stay home. We're just saying, please tell them to stay out of the exchange points.
And then comment there. Go ahead, Jackie. Yeah, go.
Well, I was just going to say, we have gotten a lot of questions again about the shuttles, and I just want to reemphasize in case anybody is kind of joining us right now. The course guide has a map for the visual learners. It has written
ladies and
instructions.
gentlemen, we just had a
Format. Maybe it would be helpful if I give you a narrative story time version of how these shuttle buses are going to work. So you start the race, you proceed to the first exchange point, right, which is Turk Road. You pull in, you drop off your runner, you wait for your returning runner. Maybe you get out and cheer. Wonderful. Reunited, you then proceed back down Route 14. We cannot use Westlake Road Fire Department this year, as we talked about in the briefing. They're doing construction. We can't use their parking lot. That came about very suddenly. We had to pivot, make a change. We're going back to the Kashongish exchange point from many years ago. We've run this exchange point before. We know it works, but we need to use a shuttle bus there. So a volunteer will have you turn onto Old Lake Road. You will, in orderly fashion, drop off your runner and continue back to Route 14 and go to Anthony Road Winery, where you will use the porta potty, play music, dance with your friends, take pictures, whatever you'd like to do, while you wait for the runner who's finishing at Kashong to board the shuttle bus and then be transported down to you, where you will reunite. You'll wait for your runner 3 who's finishing at Anthony Road, and then you'll be on your way.
Muted, Jackie.
I'm sorry. If you're in waves 9, 9:15, 9:45, you're going to get a car flag at packet pickup. If you have a car flag, you don't use the shuttle at all. We will have enough space at that time in the race for you to park along the shoulder of Old Lake Road, and you will be able to wait there for your finishing runner, just like you do at the first exchange and just like you'll do at the subsequent exchanges.
So Vivian has a question. What are the best places for spectators to watch?
Well, in years past, we've suggested that you go to the map, Google Maps, and look at all the side roads that intersect with the course. The roads are open, so anybody who's out there spectating can turn down one of these side roads. We would encourage you to share with your spectators that Route 14 and Route 414 get very busy, and it's not just event traffic. It's also winery traffic, and it's a major trucking route. So please, spectators, there are plenty of ways that you can loop around and come down toward 14, watch your team go by, get out, cheer, bring your cowbell. I would say bring your megaphone, but yeah, let's leave those on the side of the road with the spectators and not in with the field of runners, please. And then once your team that you're cheering for has gone by, you can return to the vehicle. The spectators can then loop back out around some of these secondary roads to another point that they would like to observe at. Google Maps is your friend. There are lots of ways around this course. If there's a possibility of reducing congestion on the highway, great, and definitely not at the exchange points.
And then I would say a couple maybe specifics beyond that. Maybe some of like the village areas like Dresden, for instance, would have a bunch of neighboring streets. It's down, you could walk down to the water if you wanted, where runners are serpentining through. and you could probably find a side street in Dresden, and that would be enough in where the race is a little thinned out. If you bounce from there, maybe down to like Watkins Glen, you could probably park in Walmart a lot and just kind of walk across the street in the crosswalk there to Clute Park, and hopefully catch in a cool lakeside view as well as the runners coming through. And then potentially as they go through Hector, there would also be some areas where there are neighborhood streets. There's some other local businesses. You could stop at like Elf in the Oak restaurant, grab some food, walk back up to the road, see runners come by, which is pretty close to the Covert Exchange. And then some other areas a little bit up the lake in Hector would for sure be stopping. And for as much of a nuisance as the event is for some, when it comes through and just causes a lot of congestion in communities, you know, it's also a very real thing, an incentive for communities to, the hope is that we kind of bring business to the communities and not just be a nuisance. So, you know, if there are places where you can stop at a restaurant and give them business and see the races, that would be great. And then also to one of Jackie's just side comments there on the megaphone, just as an example of making sure that we're really respectful of the communities that we're in. The race starts fairly early and there's a lot of congestion coming through. So just be mindful, especially when you're around other houses or in a village setting or whatever, that not everybody necessarily wants a big race coming through. And if they do, they're not necessarily looking for people on their front lawns or to be really loud or whatever. So have fun, but just be respectful out there. We mentioned Billy's Burgundy Barn as one example of a house right on the corner between where you park and where the exchange would be. Just be respectful of that landowner and not making a beeline right across somebody's front lawn to get an exchange. So again, even though you're kind of in the moment, just trying to be sensitive to where you are and just being respectful of those situations.
I'm just going to reemphasize, because I feel like we can't say it enough, having that course guide downloaded onto a device, whether it's an iPad or your phone, or somebody's got a laptop and a charger with them, not relying on cell service for the entire part of the course. And please note where the vehicles deviate from the runners. There are several places in the course where the runners are going to continue or go off into the woods that the vehicles cannot follow. And it's just really important for flow of the event that we are keeping the vehicles on track with their instructions. Right out of the gate after the start, you are not following your runner all the way down Route 14 to the first exchange point. You are taking a right turn out on Snell Road and you're approaching Turk Road from the west. So if you find yourself on Route 14 approaching the exchange point, you've done something wrong. And for safety's sake, please follow the vehicle instructions.
One thing that came up last year that in my communications with Park Police this week that they brought up, or I was revisiting the thread from last year, was one team came in, I think with maybe like a pickup, and were issued a warning for having a certain number of passengers like in the bed. And I think they tried to lay down maybe, but were kind of busted like in the process and just giving a warning. But again, as an example, be mindful that there's we do and very much relying on them to assist us with keeping you all safe out there. But we do have sheriffs on the course. We do have police on the course. We do have park police on the course. We do have park managers on the course. And then we just have community members that are just being mindful of whether the race looks crazy or fairly under control. So just be mindful of what your plans are out there, and being sure that you're also following just the straight out like laws. Otherwise, you kind of might get that may not go well. So just be mindful of those things. All right, and anybody out there, I don't know if I've seen any questions come in from YouTube. So if there's anybody on YouTube, I am looking at the stream when I'm kind of looking down to see whether anybody posts anything, and I haven't seen anything. I think they're all coming in from Facebook. So thanks for being tuned into Facebook, crew of you. I think there's 45 or so of you on the thread at the moment, or on the feed rather. But if any of you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in here. Otherwise, we'll we can try to cut it and let everybody get on with their evenings here.
And I think someone who's not appearing on the screen, but is hard at work, making sure you have all the information you need, is Chris, who's doing our media and PR. So as you've been asking questions on Facebook, he is doing a great job of getting those answered for you and kicking over to us any questions that aren't immediate, the answers aren't immediately obvious. And he's been doing some great frequently asked questions that you'll see coming across. So keep the Facebook page like bookmarked, whatever. I don't know the lingo, but you know, keep looking because there's going to be a lot of information there, and we're available to answer questions all the way up to race day and sometimes during. Oh yeah, Aruba team, hooray!
And then Sandra, yeah, we did go over carpooling a couple times earlier. Jackie, do you want to rehash that one more time, or say rewatch the video afterward?
The video will be posted. You can rewatch, but in short, find some people who are going the same speed that you are. See if they will agree. One person drives all the next runners for those couple of teams. They go to the exchange. They deal with the traffic. The rest of you in your vehicles go on to the exchange beyond that and peacefully and blissfully wait for them all to catch up with you. We're going to do that both. We're trying to implement that both out of Clutie Park, going toward Covert, the first exchange out of Watkins Glen, and also at Billy's Burgundy Barn, try to find someone to carpool with so that we can reduce congestion at the Bonavista Golf Course.
And we petition to get bike teams back. You can petition, but unfortunately, it won't move past the president's desk in terms of coming up for a vote or so to speak. So there was just, and I appreciate that. One of the years I was an outright run team. Another year I biked as well. The rest of my team was vehicle, but I was the only biker, and I really enjoyed the experience. But it was clear that while 80% of the bikers were following the rules and being safe, that even when we were following the rules and being safe, there would be some that might not. And then even when we were being safe, really consistent points of feedback from both law enforcement as well as locals who were observing that it really just created a safety situation. So while I really like the original spirit of the event, being more carbon neutral in that regard, just being a really cool adventure, really it just even if it's just a handful of tight spaces on the course, it just creates a situation of liability that the race was really informed several times in an official capacity that if something were to happen, it wouldn't have been good. So we appreciate the bike teams back. And again, I appreciate the spirit of it, Aaron, but unfortunately, no, bike teams are not coming back. Aruba.
Yeah,
it is good to hear from you guys all.
One thing I can tell you, you're not familiar with the area. It's cold. It is not going to be Aruba temperatures on race day. We don't control the weather. I wish we could a little bit. Right now, the forecast looks like it'll be overcast, but prepare for wind, rain, hail, snow. We've had it all. We've had 85 degrees, but unlikely that we're going to get that Aruba weather on Sunday.
And Aruba crew, hopefully it's some of your first times up. I know the team leader and organizer is awesome in bringing some of his crew and posse up once a year for races in this neck of the woods. So it is awesome, and we're thankful and grateful to have you in the mix. So if you could at least try to bring us some of that sun, so maybe it shifts off of whatever it's forecasted to be, 60 and 40% chance of rain, we'll take some of that. My apologies for technical issues. I'm trying to get the live tracker link, how to find, please. So as I have down there on the website, the tracker is not quite live. I have to submit that information to Jeff. And even today I was working through several teams saying members have changed, fitness has changed. I need to change wave start times, members out, and new members coming back in. Until I can really get a finalized set here, I can't get the data over and the tracker can't be live. So I appreciate all of the teams and so many, the vast majority that were able to have all the information in and it didn't change. I realize things come up and that's kind of how it goes. But that's what I'm waiting on. So regardless of changes, I'm going to try to not make changes after this evening. So when I get home tonight, I will send the kind of what should be a finalized spreadsheet of teams and names and captains and paces through. And the tracker should be live tomorrow. But I do have that reflected on the website that it wasn't going to be live yet. And I will have the link live there as soon as it is. So any possibility for changing team pace wave? As I just referenced, yeah, I realize things come up, but this is also kind of a bane of my world at the moment. I kind of need to be able to move on here. The race needs to move on. So if there are any last minute pace requests, you got to make a good case. It's got to really sync with your best and honest, accurate pace calculation or assessment. This isn't like, oh, we want to start later or we really want to finish earlier. That's not really what this is about. This needs to be an active reflection of your pace because we're doing what we need to do to try to ease congestion as best we can across the course. So if everybody decides they want to flip to a wave that's more desirable in time, it just doesn't work. It needs to be an accurate and reliable change of the request. And if that is you out there, yeah, I need you to get it to me right now. So I'm at a meet in Shenango Forks. And by the time I get home in a couple hours and get a couple of the kids to bed, I'm going to make a final change. And each time I make a change, I have to go to like 5 different locations to make updates and just hope that I don't miss something or mess it up. So it takes a bit of work each time. But you need to get that in right now in terms of requests. And I may or may not fill them. But it needs to be in now because it's going to get finalized tonight. And Brenda, Watkins Glen weather is a soul crusher. That wind and rain is awful. Glad the leg is over for me. LOL forever. So yeah, that can be rough. I think 2 years ago, that was a wall of water coming out of Hector. And it can be rough down there and pretty much anywhere. At the same time, it was a wall of wind all last year. Which creates all kinds of challenges, but so it goes this time of year. I would rather have it be those things rather than 85 and all sun. But hopefully it's mild enough and we get lucky enough this year, but so it goes living in the Finger Lakes this time of year. And in terms of timing on that, also the reason part of it is we can't really go later just because it becomes such a huge tourist region with the wine trail in these communities that it really gets busy out there. And so we really have to go in the shoulder season and not any closer to or in the high season.
I think just one more thing I would say kind of before we close, unless there are more questions. Again, on Facebook, Chris is doing a great job of kind of pushing out the exchange point partners who have a lot of events going on all weekend and also the following weekend. So, if you like their hospitality, you appreciate what they have to offer, we certainly encourage you to patronize their business, not during the race, no alcohol consumption during the race, but certainly many opportunities to come back or purchase something for later consumption from our partner wineries, breweries, and businesses.
And on that support, I put it in the email, but if you're making any last minute reservations, Club 86 or Torrey Park Restaurant is supportive of, there's so many businesses that are supportive of the race in the community, but Torrey Park's one that helps us with the post-race food and makes a donation on the race's behalf. So if there's any reservations left at Torrey Park pre-race, you can look into that. And then also the diner.
Water Street Cafe.
There you go. Water Street Cafe also sent through
some specials for you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else out there in the on the line that wants to send a stumper Jackie's way?
We're just looking forward to it. We're doing our best for you to have a great time out there. So please, please, please have that course guide, read it, memorize it, have it with you, follow it. Please rewatch this if you have questions about carpooling, about shuttles, anything like that. Oh, don't put that Go Sabres up there. Just joking, just joking.
Well, yeah. Go Sabres. Go Bills. Draft. I don't know. What is draft day Saturday? Am I remembering that right? Let's hope for a good one here, Bills fans. All right. Sorry, semi-related. How are injured runners handled specifically? I don't know how you will handle your own runner specifically in terms of how you will physically handle them in the moment. But in terms of the rules, the injured runner is basically out, and the teams need to fill in with the existing runners. There's not an alternate that should be riding in the vehicle or weaving in. The existing runners need to pick up the now missing remaining 2 legs, and doing it as a team. And let's see, is there food allergies friendly food at post race? Yeah, we tried to be sure. There's one of them's rice and chicken as one option, and then the other is a veggie chili. So hopefully that is allergy friendly. And then I think bread and butter as well. Yeah.
It's a gluten-free chili. If there's a particular allergy, send me an email. I'll see if I can and find out and get back to you. But yeah, we tried to pick things that hopefully would cover those bases.
And a couple of years ago, we legitimately did run short on food, and we're trying to get pizzas there as quickly as we could. Last year, we didn't run out. It was just there was a gap between when a certain batch was cleaned out and the other batch was en route. So for those teams that missed it, we apologize, but we technically didn't run out. There was just a gap there. So we'll try to, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Reality is that it's still a certain size portion for each person. Jackie and I were exchanging messages on this earlier. Technically, it's like a 8 or 10 ounce portion of that paired with some bread paired with some juice. And for me, I could probably eat 20 ounces, but we just don't necessarily have the budget or setup or whatever for it to be like an all-you-can-eat buffet. So hopefully you enjoy the food, but also if you think you eat a lot, plan to have some with you there as well, just because supplies are still limited.
And both Scalehouse Brewery and Watershed have their kitchens open and said if teams call ahead, they can have things ready for pickup. I didn't realize people were using that option at Watershed last year, but I guess they sold out. They're also going to have a lobster truck there. So that final exchange point is lobster truck, coffee truck, and pizza oven. I don't know. So Watershed is like a good food stop if you're needing a snack, and our options do not sound like what you want at the end of the race, right? There are other options.
And it would be great if those businesses feel that love even post-race. It's great to have you all hang out and have a good post-race vibe. But for the teams looking for an alternative, yeah, it would be awesome, again, to give those businesses the place. Watershed is just a few miles driving from the finish, so you get there in no time. And it would be a pretty sweet, I think, vibe to hang. Scalehouse just a bit further for those that are headed south after that. But yeah, take your time. And it would be great to, again, give those businesses support that allows the race to happen at all. All right. Any others from the bleacher seats out there?
We only need one person from your team at packet pickup Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. You're welcome to bring more people if you'd like, but just some people were asking prior to this whether or not the entire team needs to be present for that. Nope, just one person. Doesn't even have to be the captain. They just need to know the captain's name, the team name, so that we can get you the right goods. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday at packet pickup and everybody else out on the course on Sunday.
All right, we will see you then. Shoot us a message if you have any other questions, and we'll try to follow up as quickly as we can here. Thanks for logging on, and thank you for being in the mix and making an event at all. Jackie, thank you for your time. Chris, for being on the back end. Thank you a ton. As Jackie said, you don't always get as much exposure here, but we appreciate all the work you're doing on the back end. So thank you all, and we will talk to you more soon. See ya.